I wanted to do a quick video before to show you some small configuration you are going to need for this course, and as well some of the features that comes with Plan3D. The first thing that you have to do is to open a sample project. The sample project is basically the file that comes by default with Plan3D. This file is used for educational purposes and usually brings a few drawings so you can explore and you can kind of like start to visualize what are the features in Plan3D. For that, I want you to come here to the project manager, and then you're going to select open, and then it's going to bring me directly to the sample project folder because I opened it previously, but I'm going to leave you the path so you can copy and paste in your browser. But just be aware of your name, so that changes, of course. The rest, it should be the same. So we're going to select project, the file project.xml. Please make sure you never change this name. This comes by default when you create a new project. If you need some configuration, please make sure that you talk to your project administrator before making any changes. So to open, we're going to click here. We're going to select the project file and we're going to click open. So now that we have the project open, we're going to click here in P&Id drawings and then select area 1 and then select this drawing, and we're going to right click. Also, please notice that when I right click, it changes the color. It's important for you to realize that because sometimes when I do left click, the color doesn't change. So when I do right click, it's going to turn red. So right click and then click open, and the P&Id is going to be shown in the layout or paper space. So as you can see, this is a sample from Plan3D just to allow you to start to explore what the software is capable to do. Right now, some of you are familiar with the paper space. I am not. Right now, I am in the model space because as you can see, the window here, the viewport is highlighted. If I double click out of the viewport, I'm going to leave the model space. So first, I want you to come here to the model space, in this tab where it says model here, and you're going to click. The first thing that I want to show you is the data manager. So the data manager is, I would say, the most interesting feature in Plan3D. So the data manager, if you click here, you're going to see that a list is going to display. Well, more than a list. It's like many elements inside of this CAD file when we draw is stored in a database. For example, if we're going to just contract some of this, you have equipment, you have inline assets, instrumentation lines, nozzles, and so on and so forth. For example, if you want to see a valve that you already have in your CAD file, you have to come here in inline assets, and then say, for example, you're going to select one of the gate valves. So you're going to hit gate valve, and then you're going to have all the gate valves displayed here. You can organize this. For example, if I hit here in size, it's going to organize this by size. I'm going to bring this back to the left, and as you can see, the valves are grouped here in the first lines are 3 inches and the rest are 4. So basically this is a window that is going to allow you to also find your elements. For example, if I click in this valve, I wanted to see where is this valve HA161. If I click here, it's going to bring me directly to that. valve. I'm going just to contract this a little bit. You can also find elements in a reverse way. For example, if I want to find this valve 103 on the database, what I have to do is to deselect this option, this toggle, and then select show selected items. So when I do that, and if I click here, it's going to bring me the valve that I'm looking for with all the information. As you can see, this is not a simple block. This is a block that it has a lot of information. For example, also, if we decide to click on this, and then you're going to select, just for demonstration purposes, I don't want you to touch or to modify anything, but we're going to be clicking on Edit P&Id Objects block. So this block is not a simple block. As you can see, also has attachment points. And these attachment points are going to allow this block to connect with lines and to extract properties from the line. For example, if I define a line, we're going to discard the changes. We're just going to go back to our model space. So click here. So as you can see, for example, this line is a 4-inch CS300. If I decide to drop a valve, if I click here in valves and I decide to drop a valve, it's going to automatically acquire the property from the line. So just to show you that these are not regular Autocad elements. These are smart blocks. All this is customizable in the project setup by your project administrator. If you want to have a visualization of the project setup, you can come here, you can right click, and you can click in project setup. This is basically left for the project administrator to configure, because this part is basically the part that configures everything in the CAD file. For example, if you come here to the P&Id drawing settings and you're going to display this, and I want you to come here specifically in P&Id class definitions. So you're going to see all your elements here. If I wanted to see the gate valve, you're going to go to inline assets, hand valves, and you're going to select gate valve here. As you can see, the symbol is defined here, and all the properties are also established here. For diameter or for the size, you can see that this property is by acquisition, which means that it's going to be acquired through the line. So anytime that you want to insert a new valve or any element basically in your tool palette, it's better when you go through the project setup to do it. So in that way you ensure that it's properly done and every user is going to have access. This was just to show you the project setup. There is other configurations as well. You have other types of settings that you can explore. The way that you represent a gap and some standoff distances and stuff like that. You can explore that by your own. But basically that's the in a nutshell what the project setup is. The second thing that I wanted to do is to activate your dynamic input. To activate your dynamic input, you're going to come here in the three dots, in the three lines, sorry, here, and click here, and you are going to be selecting dynamic input. In this case, it's already selected. so it's good. You are always free to come here and, for example, in the command line AutoCAD bar, if I want to say, for example, I wanted to copy this pump, I can always come here and type copy. In this case, I'm going to remove the dynamic input to show you. If I want to come here and I want to type copy, and I can copy this element, and then right click, and then I can move this. But I prefer sometimes to have the command written close or nearby my cursor, so that's why I activate the dynamic input. Let's do this very same thing with the dynamic input on. So now I'm going to select dynamic input, and for example, if I want to copy this valve, I'm going to locate my cursor here. Then if I start typing copy, it's going to give me, see, it's going to give me right away next to my cursor the command that I'm looking for, copy. So I can hit enter here and I can do the very same thing. Select and then right click and then move this and copy. Alright, very good. Also, I wanted to show you that I'm going to be displaying relevant information at the bottom. So in this blue bar that you're going to see at the bottom, I'm going to be sharing with you critical information or some corrections or some relevant information that is going to complement the lesson. Another thing that I wanted to show you is here on the OSNAP menu. Basically, there is one that is very important for Plant 3D, is the node. Basically, the node is exactly the attachment points that I was showing you in the blog earlier. The nodes are the points that Plant 3D is going to understand that they are connection points. So it's important to have it on, and as well we're going to be using extension and sometimes endpoint. The only problem with endpoint is sometimes it gets on the way when I'm trying to select node. For now we're going to leave it on, but if we need it we can always unselect this. When you want to zoom in quickly, you can double click in your middle button on your mouse and you can come to the full view. The other thing I wanted to show you is that the data manager, as we saw before, is going to allow you to organize and to identify quickly some elements and as well to do some modifications. We're going to see that later, but just to show you how it acts as a filter, you can come back here to the data manager, and for example, if I want to find this valve 156, and I'm going to extend this a little bit, I'm going to select this and I'm going to unselect this. So I'm going to bring back all my valves. And for example, if I want to find that valve, I also have this bar, the search bar. So I can click here and I can go and type 156 and then hit enter, and it's going to bring me to that valve. If I click here, I can go to the valve that I was looking for, these 3 inches. So this is it. Now you're ready to start our project, our P&Id project. I'm going to be walking you step by step how to create a P&Id in Plan 3D.